25 July 2023, we will move not considering Brazil and peers and by circumstances that allow us to have them as a criminal system. You all inside the boat, because indeed you all are charlatans. We will move, and we will move strong. We will observe at first that the goals, I would say, we have. The first one, on June, we had a question. Which judicial power or institution had been protecting institutional violence? Then we set an anti-mafia procedure based on our self-defense using the portfolio and legal rights. The idea was quite simple. I have my private life and my privacy and data that can't be violated in Brazil even as a foreigner. You violated this considering the interaction as institutional fail, but you all together, hand to hand, in solidarity to be charged. And then we have at that time research of 37 trillion that got turned into 38 plus an extra financial penalty. And then we had a judicial warranty. You had all opportunities to justify your mistakes and give up of the action as criminal intent. You never considered both. Then we had the drill down, considering the institutional crime, unveiling an architecture with the previous design observed Ponzi scam multi-level. Or it means that you have the distribution of values with attraction, and all these are illicit workflow, setting level and hierarchical distribution of criminal power inside regular institution that has no internal control. And it doesn't matter if it's public or corporate, domestic or international. It's a joke. We had finally the array of pandemic crime from G20 2023. We observed segments, decision, contracts, and heads on courts. And it means on court by crimes or on court to keep the criminal activity by blind eye. We will check all these facts. That communication basic rights and guarantee reduced, suppressed, or trouble. The pattern we have currently is risky event set to sound natural, but it's not. We will observe that we have the crosscut and the interaction between three different segments: the fake data and records, risky event, sometimes death event or critical event, and the property, which is the main goal as criminal activity. The Federal Bureau of Investigation, the International Police, the OECD has clear that the criminal activity has as main goal gain. In general, always gain, illicit gains. But this research allowed to unveil a bit more. The gain as a concrete thing is named property. See, the pandemic events and all things, in the end, you will have property. And they have always trouble to present the property evaluation or beyond the tax examination. So they decided to run the tax police, the tax department, and things like this. We will observe that this model we had, and we could prove that we are doing something scheduled, different areas, hitting my basic rights and guarantees in Brazil that can or shouldn't be affected public and corporate, with an area as interaction, including the main goal to hit my things or myself. By corruption, blind eye from 1 up to 20, G20 in 197 nations as possibility. You can have the permutation, the domain, and influence. Patterns we have. We will have something now quite simple that will allow you to move, and indeed we will move kind of strong today, as we told. We will have something like this. The first thing I will have in mind is that this is my productive system. This is the hiring process I had, human resources. I will observe that this is my personnel, machine and instruments. I will put as mobile. Right? Right. We could check that something happened and had indeed been happening, which is my productive system lost integrity. My human resource lost integrity. My mobile lost integrity. When I had this kind of thing, and we will highlight because allowed to someone handle something inside my productive system. Someone handle something inside my company from human resources, and it's the unique economic factor that can make decisions and walk around. At the mobile, the same thing, or my instrument. The thing we have here, interconnect them all by fail, right? Right. Then we will check something quite simple. We could observe that my human resource and my productive system will be represented by two things, which are my investment saving curve and my liquidity money curve. And in general, this area here, which is the moment when you have the identity as investment saving curve and liquidity money curve, has a record, which is your property. Even as a small purchase, when you put 10 bucks to receive something as, value 10 bucks. But since we have the corruption here, this thing here will be presented as the piracy practicing, and it will be the liquidity money curve parallel, the investment saving curve parallel, with parallel records. Identity, but with a different thing here, which is the corruption as need of something already corrupted or something offered to be corrupted. Right? Right. This is the main point today, because the parallel activity as property, in general, you must work, receive, and buy. It's the idea as wealth cycle, or the company theory. You will have your labor that go to the factory will put the money at them, that you will buy something, and this is the idea as wealth cycle. Since you have the corruption that can be between the relation to entry at the company to the company do the payment or the consumer kind of having the purchase at the market. In all things here, inside the laundry scam, you always need a record. The replacement and the insertion of a legal asset has the need the record. We have everything. We have the process, as you know, this cross game here, which is a cross cut. You can observe that the corruption you have here as small things by the interaction they have sets the parallel market as piracy. You know that the piracy as microeconomy go at e-commerce. The storage on macroeconomy also goes at the bank. And the laundry scams that kind of drive this entire thing here has a need as record, where you will consider to found the information you need at the record, the resource you need at the bank, the root cause of problems at the decision to keep the blind eye. It means do not have the decision about the productive system, the human resources inside your company or public department, and your mobile, kind of the company that receive the complaints you do and do nothing about it. This distribution of illicit architecture, which is the premise to form the design, is kind of the infrastructure of organized crime observed at the G20. All this because you violated my right in an area that you can violate, allowed me to charge 38 trillion. The main point, having the review and finish the presentation and the week. Brazil will keep doing things as Brazil do, pretty Brazilian numbers, pretty Brazilian, crap things all day. The corruption will interact as something setting hierarchical level at your productive system, using your human resources and the communication you have. The failure will happen inside your liquidity money and investment saving curve, your macroeconomy, and also supply and demand. The microeconomy, you will observe the failures on e-commerce. The macroeconomy in general, the real estate market. In both cases, you have storage on bank. You will observe that the parallel workflow as supply or demand, and the storage or the amount of trades made will be at the parallel economy as liquidity money and piracy thing. And you will observe that she always has a need the registry. And the gain indeed must be something concrete and for real, which implies became a property. Even by illicit collect of personal data, ID, traces, having frauds on heritage, or murders covered as something normal, which indeed always bring ourselves to the record. In all cases, you have records on public departments, especially tax administration and real estate market, that do the departments doing the oversight of this. Those hands are there by a decision as human resource, changing the pattern of your production, and for sure the goals at communication, which in general has parallel and clandestine levels. Where you will find the trouble at the registries made on e-commerce and real estate in general, that will turn the illicit result into a concrete property. We'll bring ourselves to the insertion and replacement. We'll bring ourselves to white-collar crime in the same way. Where do we have the storage? On bank. In both cases, micro and macro. What you are supposed to do? Accomplish the warrant we made, which implies the seizure the prisons. Have a great day and week. The silence still is a crime.